Child, they done dropped some of the charges against Diddy. Now, Megan Kuniv has posted some things to her Twitter saying that the government is attempting to streamline the jury and that the RICO charge is actually the weakest against Diddy. We had no clue, huh? Let's get into it. Hey, it's Goldie, and I'm back with another video. So we have some breaking news in the federal case against Diddy. We have that some major charges have been dropped, including attempted kidnapping, attempted arson under the California law, as well as aiding and abetting sex trafficking. Now, we know that yesterday both the defense and the prosecution rested their cases, as well as the defense filed for Rule 29 to have the case totally thrown out. And I don't believe the judge has ruled on that just yet. We are awaiting jury instructions for the jury to begin their deliberations. And this breaking news just comes at a huge surprise. Just a shocking surprise. I mean, I've listened to a few content creators covered this information in the last few minutes, and some of them are so emotional. Oh my goodness, almost in tears. And for those of us that are emotionally invested in this trial, I can understand, the heightened emotions right now. But I just want to bring in just a sense of a little bit of reasoning when it comes to this whole thing that's going on. Now, it's my perspective. This is just my perspective. My perspective is that this whole case only was administered, only took place because the federal government or the powers that be or people with the money wanted to get access to those tapes that Diddy had from those freak off parties. Now, you guys know, before this case actually made it into the courtroom, there was all this talk about children being on those tapes, about these big elaborate parties, and everybody was just freaking off. Everybody was freaking off. Of course, they had the white parties, which was family oriented. Children could be there, families, it was a fun, light party. But after the after party, there were these really raunchy, debaucherous freak off sessions. Now, we heard that so many people attended these freak off sessions and names were being named. I mean, we were talking about things akin to what we heard with Epstein and everything like that. So when this case started to unfold in the federal court, I was really surprised that they weren't really getting into any salacious material. You will remember that in the beginning of this case, I asked if this just is a case focused on domestic abuse, because we talked about Cassie for like 2 weeks. Well, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know, but it was a long time. It was a whole lot of hours of testimony regarding Cassie and the court, the hotel incident, and all of these things regarding their relationship. And while Cassie, I think, is one of the women who are true victims in this whole case that has been taking place publicly for all of us to kind of catch up on through notes and tweets and everything. I believe that Cassie is a true victim. However, I do feel that she may not be a victim of the things that he was charged with. My question in the beginning was, why was he not charged with domestic violence? I mean, if we had a charge of domestic violence from the beginning, we all could see him being guilty in that. But when we talk about sex trafficking, prostitution to engage in sex, when we talk about RICO, which is a really intricate and involved charge, these are things that we just have to be honest and say that the prosecution have not proven their case when it comes to those charges. Now, yes, they have proven domestic violence. And yes, they have proven maybe even some type of drug trafficking. I mean, personal use, I guess, can be considered maybe drug trafficking. But these large quantities of drugs that we thought that we would hear about, the need to have these weapons with the scratched out identification numbers. We thought that we would find out why he needed those and how he used those. These are all things that the prosecution did not charge. And I understand the emotions around it, but we have to really look at what has taken place in black and white. In black and white, he has not, the government has not proven the things that they have charged him with. Now, I'm going to come back with another video in probably an hour or so. It's currently 4:33 Pacific time over here. It's super early. I woke up because my baby was crying, and I just checked my YouTube and got this breaking news, and I'm like, what's going on? So let me just want to make this quick video, but I'll come back with a video that I was working on yesterday that really proves, if you want to be technical about it, it really proves the RICO charge. It really proves, some of the more salacious things that we had heard about before the trial began. But this is information that the prosecution never entered into the trial, entered in for consideration in front of the jury. And I want to know why. Why didn't they enter in information that we know would be able to garner a guilty conviction on? Now, I also feel that a lot of the YouTube voices that we've been listening to over the past couple weeks, while they have been doing a good job, have been extremely biased in terms of really just wanting Diddy to go down. And I mean, he definitely should go down for a lot of things. Not even Cassie. It's just way more than Cassie. I mean, just a lot of things. We know Diddy been dirty since Diddy been dirty since Diddy been dirty. Okay, we know that. But the reality is that when you are biased to the point where all you see is Diddy being dirty, you are not really equating his actions that are described in court by the prosecution and comparing that against what he's been charged with in order to garner a guilty verdict. Now, I personally feel that if the jury does have to consider charges, they are going to come back with a non-guilty verdict. And I feel that Diddy will get off scotch-free. I feel that the government just wanted to get those tapes out of there. They needed a reason to go in and raid his house, and they just wanted to get those tapes. They got the tapes. They had to put on a trial in order to get those tapes. All of the names, ain't no party like a Diddy party, and some of your favorite faves, okay, have their tapes secured now from Diddy, and Diddy can go back out into the wild. My thing is, outside of them now having their evidence back and knowing that he can't blackmail them or, cause some type of damage to their careers or, whatever. Now that their information is safe, now that the secrets are safe, now that those allegations of tunnels and children and all of those things have gone away, what kind of Diddy will the world have to reckon with now? I really think about what kind of Diddy will come out of a trial where he's found not guilty. In my opinion, I think it would be a more emboldened Diddy, a more brazen Diddy, a more dangerous Diddy. And the reality is a lot of people are not going to be able to be around him. They're not going to be able to publicly show themselves as his friend. We see that nobody wanted to come up and stand for him in terms of a defense witness. We see that nobody wanted to support him. We see people like Jay-Z, who we know is his ride or die, claim that he didn't know him and that they ain't even really friends. We heard T.D. Jakes, the one who had been swallowed up. We see T.D. Jakes and Oprah distanced themselves from Diddy just a couple days ago. So everybody is going to go deeper and deeper and deeper into this dark underworld cycle or system that they have created to do these debaucherous acts that they have been doing. And it's really dangerous. It's really concerning, and it's really something to think about. So many of us are focused on Cassie and Mia and Capricorn Clark and even Jane Doe. But this is way bigger way bigger than these women right here who found themselves tangled up with this high-powered executive. I mean, there are truly people that have come against him, across him against their will. And we aren't thinking about that. We aren't talking about that. All we are talking about is him dragging Cassie down the hallway. And we should talk about that. But there is so much more that we really should be focused on that we aren't focused on. Now, after we get the guilty verdict, the not guilty verdict, because I think he will be found not guilty. After we get the not guilty verdict, I want us to come back and have a real conversation about what a victim truly is. During this whole case, we have not been able to really talk about the elements of victimhood, like what a victim truly is, because anytime you start bringing up questions, legitimate questions, then you are accused of victim blaming and all of those things. But I have children. I have nieces. I have little cousins, little girl cousins that I love with all my heart. And I would not willingly allow them to walk themselves in a situation where I know they will be victimized. Allow them to go through that situation and then come back and hug them and say, oh, you're a victim. He was wrong for doing that to you. No, I am going to try to protect the people that I love from engaging in any activity in which they might become a victim in. Now, if it's just something that happened and there was no way to prevent it, there were no red flags, there was no way where you could take any self-accountability, that's one thing. But Jane Doe in particular, as well as some of these other ladies that we've heard from, are not women that we can say fell into a situation where they just so were victimized against their will. We really need to talk about this whole victim narrative as it relates to young Black women and really get down to the bottom of it so that we can save these women that are younger than us, these women that are in different situations than us, from really walking into the lion's den. And we really need to talk about real charges that should be brought forward in a situation like this so that we can prevent younger Black women from falling into a situation beyond their control that they didn't ask for, that they didn't participate in, that they didn't do any quid pro quo in, regardless, like, period. We have so much more to talk about than this hotel thing and some of the other things that we've heard about in the case. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and probably get my day started. I'll be back with that video that I was talking about, and we will catch up on the updates today from court. It is really going to be going down today. I heard that the jury won't be there, but people will be in the court today. Court will be in session today. So I'll be back with some updates regarding that, and we'll talk about it. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts and comments. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I really would like to know what you think. I really would like to know what this means for you and how you feel about it. Let's talk about it in the comments. Bye.